Boy, the Patriotic Millionaires, speaking to Lester Holt. This is, Lester Holt's going to moderate the first presidential debate. And the Patriotic Millionaires is a group of about 200 very, very high net worth individuals who are progressives, who say raise our taxes and let's create policies that work for working class Americans, even though we're the rich guys. And they just launched an aggressive campaign. This is a press release that I just got from them. The Patriotic Millionaires have launched an aggressive campaign to demand that the first presidential debate center on issues of democracy. They sent an open letter to Lester Holt saying, power, more specifically the distribution of power in this country, affects every aspect of American life, from trade deals to criminal justice, from water quality to access to medical treatment. In the most extreme cases, power decides not only how people live, but if they live. In this fractious time, you have a grave responsibility to your fellow Americans, Mr. Holt. You must help us learn whether or not each of these candidates actually believes in the essential equality of each and every citizen. You must ask exactly how they plan to address the gross imbalance of power that has cracked our foundation and threatens to rip our society apart. How will they match the idea of equality with the realities of American politics? Now, that, sounds kind of abstract. Let me bring it down to something very specific. Donald Trump has gone out of his way to talk about his respect for American democracy, or lack thereof, or misuse thereof. He's never worked to try to improve American democracy. Instead, he exploits a broken system created by the Supreme Court with the Buckley decision, among other things, and Citizens United, of course. Donald Trump is now being attacked for basically buying Pan Bondi. Pan Bondi was the Secretary of State, is the Secretary of State for the state of Florida. She's a Republican, in tight with Rick Scott and all that. And Trump University, the whole Trump scam was based in Florida, or at least parts of it, a part of it was based in Florida. And so there was considerable pressure on her to investigate this. In fact, over 827 people from Florida had to join the New York prosecution of Trump because Pan Bondi refused to. Now, why did she refuse to? Well, her office announced that they were looking into possible prosecution. We're seriously thinking about this. And a couple of days later, Trump's foundation gives her a $25,000 contribution. A couple of days later, oh, gee, no, there's no there. Trump also let her use Mar-a-Lago, his 126 room mansion in West Palm Beach, his resort, for a fundraiser for Pan Bondi. Now, when he did the same thing for his own campaign, he charged his campaign $140,000 for use of the mansion. When Pan Bondi did it at Mar-a-Lago, he charged her campaign less than $5,000, $4,800 specifically. So, and then he and his wife, Ivanka, gave her gave $125,000 to the Republican Governors Association in Florida, which is, Pan Bondi is one of the principal recipients of. So this is what Donald Trump had to say about his relationship with politicians like Pan Bondi.
I contribute to I've given to Democrats. I've given to Hillary. I've given to everybody because that was my job. I got to give to them because when I want something, I get it. When I call, they kiss my ass. Okay, it's true. They kiss my ass.
Donald Trump. Well, I give them money and they kiss my ass. Pan Bondi, are you listening? I'm guessing that's metaphorical and not literal. But I have a feeling this is not going to go away. And Pan Bondi today came out and said, I'm not going to be collateral damage in this presidential race, and I'm not going to be bullied by Hillary Clinton. Really? I don't think it was Hillary Clinton who sent you a bunch of money and said, please don't send me to jail. That was Donald Trump, who has been sued thousands of times and typically gets out of it with his money. The Orlando Sentinel. wrote an op-ed about this. The headline was Donald Trump, Pan Bondi's, Donald Trump made national news last week. So here's the article. Imagine you were robbed and the prosecutor gave the suspect a pass after taking $25,000 from the suspect. And then it gets into the article. This is an article by a Florida reporter by the name of Scott Maxwell. He says, this week I looked at the records of the New York case and found complaints from several Floridians. A North Lauderdale man said he spent $8,750, never got a promised mentor. A Miami resident said she lost more than $40,000. This is to Trump University for services that weren't provided. A Hollywood man said he quickly determined the seminars were a complete scam and was denied his satisfaction guarantee refund. Earlier this year, I filed a public records request asking for documentation that might prove Bondi's office conducted any hard-hitting investigation. They responded with 8,491 pages of documents, a records dump that seemed like an attempt to cover up a lack of investigation with an avalanche of paperwork. In fact, there were 39 copies of one email he sent them three years earlier. He said in one instance, Bondi's office told a man who said he lost $26,000. This is to the Trump University scam. Bondi's office told a man who said he lost $26,000 that he should surf the internet. Quote, I encourage you to visit an internet search engine such as yahoo.com or google.com to search for information on any class action lawsuits you may benefit from. This was the response from Pan Bondi's office. Pretty amazing. You know, the patriotic millionaires are saying, let's debate democracy. Do we even have anything that resembles a democracy? And one of our two candidates for president is out there bragging about the fact that when he gives politicians money, they kiss his ass, to use his phrase. And, you know, just say this. This is at a public event that Donald Trump said this. This was at one of his rallies. That's my job. Oh, apparently that's the job of businessmen in America, is to buy politicians so they can kiss their asses. At least in the Republican world. I realize there are a few Democrats that kind of fall that way too, tragically. And hopefully as time goes on, fewer and fewer of them will be serving. But this is, you know, kind of Republican politics 101. There's no secret here, no mystery here, no nothing. And Pan Bondi needs to come up with some serious explanation as to why, when Eric Schneiderman in New York went ahead with an investigation and perhaps a prosecution of the Donald Trump University scandal, that she instead took thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars from Donald Trump and decided, you know, there's no man behind that curtain.